What if the work isn't asking you to try harder, but to listen differently?
I'm Kim Wilson,
And I'm Natasha Marchevka.
and this is Speechless. Welcome to our behind-the-scenes take on real life in VO, where we share our stories, our resources, and our unsolicited opinions. Today, we have someone very special, Erika Ward.
Yes, but I'm bum. I guess I'm next. Okay. Today's conversation is a part of our series called The Next Chapter.
Mhm.
We've interviewed Erika Ward, and we're just, oh my gosh. By the way, we record these intros after the interview, and so we can have that energy of the interview. And I think we're almost speechless because it was, well,
Right. Just saying.
just saying, because it was so revelatory.
Mm.
Erika is a voice actor, of course, a writer, an intuitive thinker, a lifelong explorer of meaning. She's built a solid voiceover career while also following a quieter, more internal path, one that includes writing, coaching, spiritual inquiry, and listening deeply to what feels true. This conversation is for anyone who's ever thought, I'm doing the work, but I'm also wondering what this work is doing to me. Let's dive in.
Mm.
Speechless. Speechless.
Hi, Erika.
Welcome.
Thank you for being here today. Erika, we want you to share actually a little bit about you because you are a little bit mysterious and don't go to all the things like some of us do. Tell
Like
us,
I
a-
do.
like,
None of
well, conferences and
that's what I'm
workshops and
talking
things,
about.
those things. So just in a couple of sentences, tell us about you and your journey.
Okay. Ooh. Okay. How long do we have? So journey voiceover. I've been doing voiceover since 2011.
Mhm.
And I fell into it when I was in Los Angeles, pursuing on-camera work and theater and all that. Although really more on camera. I mean, you don't really go to Los Angeles to do theater, let's be honest. So yeah, I just kind of fell into it and it became my full-time gig and I was doing just that for a while and then I went on a very big spiritual woo-woo tangent for several years
Uh-huh.
and continued to do VO, but in like a smaller capacity. And then the past 5 years, I've just been rebuilding my VO career. And I'm
That's what
mostly,
makes you so magical.
What do you mean rebuilding?
well, so, okay, this is something I think I brought up last time I was on your podcast, was when I was my first years of my business, I didn't even think of it as a business. I was like, "Oh,
Mm.
cool, I get paid to just talk into a micro," like, I and I made, like, crazy money, and I was like, "Oh, this is just how it goes in
Mm.
voiceover, like, I don't have to put
Mm.
in any effort, I don't have to," and I had
Mm.
one main client, and then 4 years into being the voice for them, they changed their voices, as why wouldn't they? And my money was gone, it was just like so I was like, "Oh, right, I need to diversify. This is a business. I need to have mo," and I
Yeah.
had other, like, smaller clients, but not, not in the same way.
Right.
So since
Not in
then
the way that pays rent.
no, so right, exactly. So it was like and also just, like, learning all the ins and the outs. Like, I was kind of like, "Okay, I'm fine with," honestly, like, starting out with, like, a Blue Yeti. I'm like, "That's good enough," and yeah, okay, for some things it is. Eventually, no, it's just not. Um,
Right.
and, even learning about the business side of things, like, it took it's still going. I mean, it's an ongoing thing, right?
This is
Um
true.
and, yeah, and I coached for a while too, acting and how that translates into VO performance,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, and we're here, and I get to, chat with you guys, and
Yes. And
yeah, and you
Eric,
both have been such a big part of the, I don't wanna say, like, reintegration into the voiceover community because I was never really a part of it. I
a
was
transition. It was a
yeah,
transition.
yeah.
Yeah. So what Eric is talking about is she's part of our Speechless Mastermind group that, yes, it is a closed group. If you're wondering. Well, actually, it was open and we had these glorious people join us and we just decided that it was big enough. And we're just so glad to meet you and have you part of our journey. Thank you.
Absolutely. Welcome. So what did you bring to drink? Let's toast this conversation off.
So I brought some Twinings, peppermint and creamy vanilla. And I remember
Oh.
in my voiceover for the Planet mug.
Yes, voiceover for the planet. Shout
Peppermint and
out.
creamy vanilla. I'm all about tea, and I've never seen that
Yeah,
before. Okay.
it grows on you. At first it was gross. Now I really like it.
Oh,
I
okay.
love that you keep drinking it until it's not. This is my espresso martini for the late afternoon. And it is delicious. I have to
Well,
say,
last
that's
time
why
you
it's
came
half
with an
gone.
espresso martini, it was just Bailey's in a martini glass.
No,
What is it today?
it's espresso with a little bit of my fancy Irish cream, a little bit of Frangelico, and vodka, and of
So it
course
really-
espresso.
Wow, that's strong. Okay,
It is, and it's delicious.
I'm taking a cue from our friend Steve Pogach. Yay!
Steve,
I had to open it because I thought it'd be cooler, but it wasn't. Liquid Death.
Liquid Death.
And this is one of them that I got as a gift from my husband because, I don't know, Convicted Melon flavored sparkling water.
It's so
Convicted
cool.
melon,
You're
isn't
such a
it?
badass. Cheers,
Oh,
guys.
Really?
Mm.
I will say I wish I had an espresso martini. That sounds amazing.
I kinda
Well, the
do
only
too.
reason I have it is because I had to have this show, and I was like, "Oh, I got to get a drink." Okay, make it
And-
interesting, Kim. Make it interesting.
And be loosey-goosey. Yeah.
Yes, yes.
Okay, so Erika, when someone asks you what you do, how do you usually answer? Depending on the day? Or how do you usually answer?
Well, it's so interesting. I mean, I'm a voice actor, and that is the majority of how I make my income right now. For a while, I was also coaching, I was also writing, and I mean, I say voice actor, but it depends on how we want to identify ourselves. Like, we can say so many things. I could be like, I am a philosopher. True. I just don't, I guess
It
I
is.
don't get paid for it exactly yet, but yeah.
I love that you say that because so many of us, like people, i.e., me, want to define ourselves by what we do for money, and it's
I know,
so
but-
hard for me to like let go of that and be like, I am so much more than that.
Well, yeah. Yes, but when someone
what do you
asks
guys-
you what you do you say, well, I'm a voice actor, but I'm so much more than that.
I will from now on.
I think I have said that, and then they're like, okay, bye. Like, it really depends who you're talking to when you can bring that out.
Oh my gosh.
But what do you guys say?
Well, I do. I say, well, I'm a voice actor. And then I usually stop there. I'm like, and then they're like, oh, what is that? And I'm like, oh, never mind.
I say I do voiceover for commercials and corporate scripts. And that tweaks their interest just a little bit because they're like, well, what are corporate scripts? And I say, oh, the videos on your website and at presentations and blah, blah, blah. Oh, have I heard you on anything? Probably
Yeah, that's always the
not.
question.
I'm on a tag for Allegra in Germany. Have you heard that one? No, I'm kidding. I've done a little bit more than that, but mostly unglamorous work, right? So anyway,
A lot of people
I
want to
love-
know what characters are we in? Are we
Yeah.
characters? Are we characters?
By
Yeah.
the way, I'm Bart Simpson too.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Right. Can you imagine?
But I love what our friend Jen says, and she says, I have my own voiceover business. And she says that really has changed everything when she's having a conversation with people. I need to integrate that.
I'm going to write that down. I have my own. I have my own voiceover business. I know.
Different than saying, I don't know about you guys, but saying you're a voice actor. When you say you're an actor, people are like, oh yeah, yeah. What do you
Exactly.
make money doing that? Like
That's
that's
right.
such a
How's
thing,
that going for you? That's what people say to me. How's that going for you?
right? And yeah,
5
so
words you never want to hear.
right. So part of me is like, actually, it's going pretty well. Like so you. But it's so silly because ultimately they just want to have open conversation, like chat with you about your life and,
Yeah. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Okay, so next question. What feels most alive or present for you right in your work right now? And I guess it doesn't necessarily mean in voiceover, but because when we meet, you always seem, not always, you seem to have, I'm doing this right now, I'm doing this, and I'm very present in this.
Because you
So,
have a lot of hats that you wear.
yes, you do.
Yeah.
In the best way, Erika.
In a way that makes me want to be you, Erika. So yes.
I guess I just follow what feels like um, the most interesting and most the next aligned thing. Like
Hmm.
right now I've picked up a lot of my writing that I was doing. I used to share a
Mm.
lot of my writing. Just I called them, wisdoms, like wisdoms. There was
Mm.
actually Wisdoms of the Formerly Wilted was a book series I made of those sorts of
What? Where can we
things.
find those?
It's online, or you just reach out to me. I'll send you a copy. But compiling those because they're just like reminders, helpful insights, the stuff that we all talk
Nice.
about when we get together, and we're like, oh my God, thank you so much. Like we
Yeah.
all need that, like life is.
Yeah.
And so yeah, I've been working on that. But when it comes to voiceover, I think the biggest thing that I've been focused on, regardless of, and I don't even, not in a focusing on a certain genre or whatever, it's just approaching my work in a different way. Like
Tell
it
us more.
really occurred to me how often I was unknowingly going into the booth to audition, and it wasn't that I was auditioning for that particular role because I wanted to play it and I, hopefully wanted to get paid to be in the moment of that script and that um uh, in those circumstances. It was because I was auditioning for my own validation or like, do I deserve to be doing this? Was somebody going to hire me? Is it
Oh my goodness.
like, what am
Wow.
I really auditioning for right now? And what I realized was like it was making me dread auditioning and also
Mm-hmm.
kind of like, you go into that sort of like, okay, let me do this versus
Yeah.
it is the most fun thing in the world to just play, to do what
Yes.
you get to do. It is fun. And when we take all the other stuff off of it, when I don't have to audition for my own self-worth or my own opinion about me, then I
Mm-hmm.
get to just play and be in the moment and be present. Um, and so
Mm.
that's been the biggest thing that's been alive for me.
And how do you get there?
Well, okay, so I mean, I've done a lot of internal work, but like recently, the things that have been really helping me, I've been doing a lot of somatic practices, just kind of checking in, because most of us,
Mm-hmm.
and I think I can make this assumption for most humans, we live in our minds,
Yep.
like so separate from what's actually going on with our body, or we override it.
Mm-hmm.
And especially those of us that do performance for a living, it's like, okay, like, oh, I'm nervous. Don't worry, don't be nervous. It's like,
Yeah.
that's fun. That's happening. That's present, And the more we fight what's going on internally, it's like we only have ourselves really, ultimately. So why
Hmm.
not create as much of an internal harmony as we can so
Yeah.
that we can be our best versions for the other people in our lives and our work? And that's a lot to answer your question, but yeah.
Well, but I want to dig deeper with that. So, some people listening probably don't know what somatics are. And so you don't have to expand on that necessarily, but what does it mean to, get out of your head and get out of your head, be present and communicate through something other than there. Can you
Yeah.
unwrap that?
What does it mean?
No,
Uh,
what does it look like? What does it practical things?
yeah. So
How?
part of it is just kind of taking a second to be like, what do I feel? What's
Mm,
going on? Where do I feel it in my body? Can I breathe into that part? Can I can I ask it what and I know it can sound a little bit like, out there, but
I'm here for it. I'm here
it's
for it.
yeah,
so
like
valuable.
you're
It's so
talking to
valuable.
yourself and
Right.
parts of ourselves will want to be heard. If
Yes.
we pretend like, okay, I'm not nervous right now. I'm not. It's like it's still there somewhere. It's like you're
Yeah.
ignoring like a small child. Eventually it's gonna, ask like cry for your attention.
Yeah.
So it's just about bringing presence to your full self. There's different practices you could do. I mean, of course, we talk about somatic work. I've been working with Kath Crumrine in her small group coaching. She's amazing. Definitely
She is
recommend.
Mhm.
amazing.
Mhm.
Yeah,
We'll
and
share her resource.
We
yeah,
will.
Yeah.
yeah.
Mhm.
It's been really really helpful just to even be in a group with other people who are doing the same thing.
Yes.
Um, and yeah, like just allowing myself to also in my like when I'm about to work on a script to just really check in with where I happen to be at. Because if I have to do something really high energy, but like I've just had like something annoying happening in my life and I'm angry or I'm upset, like, okay, don't ignore it. Just like kind of like bridge yourself there, you
Mm-hmm.
know?
Yeah. Yeah.
Uh,
Mm-hmm.
Bridge yourself to the one day sale at Macy's.
yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Otherwise,
Yeah.
it sounds fake, and which I've done plenty of that. I mean, I've faked.
Right.
I'll have, right?
Yeah, we all have,
You know,
right.
because you know what they want.
But
You know
what
your
wins the
talent.
audition is the authentic when you've gotten yourself there authentically, because we all can fake the one day at Macy's. Yeah, exactly.
That's true. And I am going to go on a bit of a side thing
We're here for it.
because
All I
we
do.
have all these feelings that are coming up in our minds and our bodies.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm going to hazard a guess that a lot of people can't recognize there's a feeling right now. And what is it? And I'm going to delve into it or move through it or something. I think that might be foreign to a lot of people. And yesterday I heard that some of you went to this class and I didn't go. I chose to do something else.
Oh,
I was,
the workshop.
yeah,
Yeah.
workshop. I was so jealous.
Mm.
And I felt
Mm.
the jealousy in my head and my body, but I was on a call with someone and it was a video call and I needed to be present to that and not look like I'm doing something else, but not just doing something else. I was overcome with, oh my God, I'm so jealous. And I could feel it. And I just said to myself, move on. You need to move on right now. And I did. Like
Yeah.
I know I'm saying we feel it in your body. I felt it in my body, but my brain could say, okay, you're identifying it. Great. Now move on. Get over yourself. And like that, I was there for a good 30 seconds. Like it felt like an eternity, but to use the tools of your mind in a positive way and being attentive to your body with your mind. Oh my God, it's so amazing. It's so helpful. And that's what Kath teaches. And I also have another somatic coach that taught me that as well to, what's happening in your body right now. And yes, it's like, I don't even like saying the word WOOWOO because it's, it sounds like negative and it's to me very positive. So,
And it's not even that. It's physical. It's practical. It's your
yeah, it's
body.
practical.
That's
Yeah.
right.
It's your
Yeah.
body. Nobody
It's
else
scientific,
for you. Yeah,
biological. Yeah.
Uh-huh.
it is happening. Your body is speaking to you. And you can
Yeah.
choose to ignore it or
Yeah.
pretend it's happening, or we can just create a safer space for it to process so that it moves through because the energy just wants to move. The problem is that most of us, and I know some of us, like myself included, we weren't taught how to process our emotions.
Yes.
So we
Yeah.
Yes.
have other behaviors to buffer them or whatever it is. This is just a way to like allow ourselves to be fully alive and human and process through this shit that comes up. I don't know if I can
Mm.
swear. Can I swear?
Oh, yeah.
And move on.
Have you seen
Yeah,
our show?
I have. I'm sorry. It's been a little while, but I have. There's only so many things to watch and listen to and all the things.
Right? Oh my gosh, I know.
I get to hang out with you guys regularly, so,
What I learned about my feelings growing up is to dwell in them.
Oh.
Dwell in the negative feelings. And then
Ooh, yeah.
hang on to it for days if you can. Let's move on to voiceover. It moves fast. And it is results driven, really, at the end of the day. So what helps you when it gets too heavy? Let's just say like that.
too heavy or too busy?
All the things. I think when you're too busy, it's also too heavy because it's like, for me, I'm carrying the weight of overwhelm.
That's interesting. Okay. Yeah. See, it's interesting. I don't see it as heaviness. For me, I feel it as like this angst. And I'm like, oh, I've got all this I have to do. It doesn't feel heavy. It feels like it's pulling me up like this, and my shoulders are like here. And I feel worried about everything in my week. So this is actually a new thing that I've been practicing that I'll share. Um, there, there's a super woo book, which I can share or not, but there's
Writing it down right now.
Bring
Share
it
it.
there is a Jack O'Keefe, and I can't remember which of her books it was in. But she talks about this experience she had where I think she was at an ashram and she had been meditating and meditating, meditating. And then she woke up one day and her awareness split from her identity. So she woke up and she was like, what's this body? Who am I? She had to like relearn.
Wow.
And she talks about in the book how even if she didn't have an identity, she still knew when she had to go, wash her hands or, she still knew there was something, she still realized, oh, this task needs to be completed because of a part of our brain that is the task oriented part of our brain. And so when I read that, it made me think like, okay, it just had this occurrence to me where I was like, I'm so worried about all the things that are going to take up my time. Like, oh my God, do I have enough time to do all this stuff and all this stuff, all these um, expectations I put on myself.
Mhm.
I was like, what if I just looked at everything I had to do as a task in front of me
Mhm.
instead of putting myself into it like it means something about me, how
Yes.
well I do, how good I am at this, or how much I get accomplished. So taking time, when I take I and me out of the word time, it just becomes a task. So I think about that now. I was like, that makes so much sense. Where it's like, it's not about me. Like my auditions, not about me. They're about serving the mission.
Oh my gosh.
And
That's
and
so
in
much.
that way too, what's been really eye-opening for me is that everything, even if it's like a big meeting or like a new like a session with a new client that I don't know, and there's gonna be like 15 people on the call around the world or whatever, I'm like, there's no difference between this task
Mhm.
and doing the dishes.
Mm.
Sure, I
Mhm.
might need to prepare a little bit more for the session, but there's no difference. I still get to just bring myself. And if I don't make it about me, if I don't make it into an identity, like, oh, if they like me, then I'm good enough. And
Oh, I
oh,
love
am I
this
going
so
to,
much.
right? Like,
This
I'm
is
Sign
just,
me up for your cult.
amazing.
I'm first in line.
No, this is
okay, I'll add you to the list.
amazing. This is
Um,
amazing.
yeah,
What?
isn't that so helpful?
Yes.
Like, that's something I've been practicing really, lately because I've realized like and it's funny because yes, we kind of have to be available Monday through Friday, but in the work we do, especially as freelancers and voice acting, there is no real like Monday through Friday 9 to
That's
5
right.
thing,
Yep.
right? So I don't know why I was getting this anxiety about
Mhm.
Monday. What?
Because
What
you're
the-
human.
right.
So
And we're plugged
would it
in with everything else.
would it
Yeah.
be the same as separating from your ego? Do you think that process was separating from your ego um
Hmm.
as
I
we
guess
learned in
it's
the
how
power of now?
Yeah,
Eckhart
I mean,
Tolle.
I would think so, but I guess it's just, it's the way you approach it or how you think about it. Is it ego? Is it identity?
Sure.
You're small
Yeah.
you. Who am I? And we get a
Yeah.
lot of who I am based on how people perceive us. Yet
Yes.
ultimately we'll never really know, even if
Yes.
and it and it changes. And I don't know, I just got to a point where I was like, I'm so exhausted of like
Mm.
dreading my life, and I have a really fucking good life.
Yeah.
So why am I dreading it? You
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
Why am I
Right.
so much harder for myself? Life's hard enough. There's crazy,
Yeah.
crazy stuff happening in the world, awful stuff. We can't control certain things like grief and loss and all these experiences we will just have to deal with as humans. Why am I making it so
Mm.
much harder? You know?
Wow. We could end the
Wow.
show here. Oh my gosh. I feel like, what's her name? That podcast, the most famous podcaster ever. What's the
Mel
self-help one?
Robbins?
Mel
No.
Robbins. I feel like we're in a Mel Robbins podcast. Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Um,
Wow.
okay. I just need to let that sink in. We're going to go do our promo and we'll be right back. Okay, popping in with our speechless promo. If this is your first time here, we hope you are enjoying the show. But if you've listened before and you found yourself nodding or taking notes or
Mm.
feeling a little less alone,
Mhm.
then here's our agreement. We talk openly about what's working and what's still unfolding, and we make space for those kind of conversations and share copious resources. So if this is serving you, please stay connected, hit subscribe, and sign up for our newsletter at speechlessvo.com. And please share any of this or all of this with anyone who might need to hear any of this. Not because you have to, but because we love your love right back. And I'm also going to remind you of our new Speechless Planner 2.0.
Oh, yes.
Yeah. So you can find that on speechlessvo.com as well. And this year 2.0 has similar things, but it's elevated. So it has you look at any time of the year, because it's undated, at, what are your creative assets, technical systems? Where are you with all those things? Do you need to revamp everything, start everything, or are you good? And then, looking at what's already working marketing-wise and looking at your goals, and then figuring out with all that stuff what to do next. So check that out at speechlessvo.com. And back to the show. And we are back. So what you triggered in me, Erika, was so funny, because just before we started recording this, is I was working on branding and branding words and thinking about V123 Pros and how we teach people how to keyword themselves to be a brand on their website and on online casting, etc. Really specifically, and even working with ChatGPT, where I thought, I think I'm a Gen X mom. I think that really paints a picture of who I am and my voice. And so I talked to ChatGPT about it, as I do. And it was amazing how it unraveled that and was like, it's good for some reasons, but you need to be broader, and you're this and you're that, because ChatGPT knows me pretty well by now. But it's that opposite thing, to actually, yes, in marketing, we have to know exactly who we are in terms of describing ourselves, because it's so unique in our business to brand yourself in that way. Because as a graphic designer or photographer, you don't have to define who you are, just what you do. But as a voice and as a collaborator, you need to let them know, this is what I am. This is what I bring to the table. And you're talking about the exact opposite when it comes to actually doing the work. And I think that's amazing.
Yeah, it makes sense, because I've always, even when I was doing on-camera stuff, I was always allergic to, not to marketing in the sense of reaching out to people, but in branding myself.
Yeah.
And
who are you? Who really are you? Tell
maybe
us.
that's a good thing, a bad thing, or and I'm not against it. If it speaks to whoever, if it speaks to you, great. And maybe it's language too, the idea of being a brand, or just being your authentic self, and how does that actually come across? I don't know.
It brings us back to, what do you do? I'm a voice talent, but I'm so much more than that.
You gotta add the hands, Natasha, anytime. I'm so much more.
For our podcast listeners, it's kind of like jazz hands, but more like a rainbow. Okay.
I've got
so
a question for you, but
Yes,
I
please.
sort of feel like you've already answered this, but when things feel unclear, or how we're just jabbing along in our business, and then suddenly you're like, wait, is this what am I? Yeah. That feeling?
Yeah.
Okay. I know you know what I mean. What helps you slow down, recalibrate, get back on track? Because we all have that.
Oh, yeah. Well, and especially because we're not in a set, everything is always like this.
It's not.
This.
Hello,
And
January.
yeah, right.
Crickets.
Yeah, exactly. So I find, for me, I have daily practices that are really anchoring, just routines, the same as brushing my teeth. I write to my intuition, do morning pages, kind of like Julia Cameron, Artist Way morning pages, but I do them in a sense where I'm kind of just talking to my own intuition, which again sounds super woo, but is actually
it's
really
amazing.
practical,
I'm here.
because yeah, I'm not talking to you guys. I'm talking to whoever's listening.
Right. We're trying to convince you. We love you. We love you. That's amazing.
A part of me too, where I, was always very skeptical until I started doing these practices and started to receive answers from myself, my subconscious, whatever we want to say, that were
Mhm.
clear and that were sometimes really weird. Like words would drop in. I'm like, what does that mean? And then later would be like, oh, okay.
Yes.
There is a part
Yes.
of us that does know, and maybe it doesn't say it exactly, and maybe we don't know exactly, like the path isn't like crystal clear, walk this way, but it's like there's a little urging, like, I don't know, I have
Mm-hmm.
a interest in this, or it makes me feel light. This let me just see, let me walk in this direction. But yeah, I will do that every day. Just making sure that I'm doing the things that keep my mood up, not in like
Mm.
a super positive way. I mean,
Mhm.
like, just not going into the negative, because it's super easy to just be like, everything
Yeah.
is terrible. I'll never work again if you haven't been working for however long, right?
Yes. Yeah,
Or
right.
the world's on fire. What am I doing? All
Yeah.
that. It's super easy.
Everyone
But
hears you.
yeah.
Everyone hears you when you say that. Yep.
But at the
Um,
same time, there's so many other perspectives to choose, and when I'm in a place where I'm feeling a little bit better, a little bit more hopeful, then I can see the other perspectives,
Yeah.
versus just like, yeah, everything is terrible. Yep. Uh-huh. Because we can find evidence for anything we want.
that's true.
Mm-hmm.
That is
Mm-hmm.
true.
Mm-hmm.
Um, so in terms of your business or career, um, do you have any thoughts about, oh, this is the direction I'm going to take, and this is what I want to do, and do you have goals and whatnot, or do you just like let your intuition guide? Well, I think letting your intuition guide you is excellent, but this whole series is called The Next Chapter, and so what do you want for the next chapter, or do you know, or did I just answer your question for you?
I mean, kind of yes, no, all of it. Yeah,
Yeah.
um, honestly, it's been a rough period of time, several months into a year, and I think what was happening was I was kind of like coming up against my own. Um, I wasn't letting myself have joy in the process of this, so it
Mm-hmm.
became sort of like, why am I even doing this? And
Mm-hmm.
should I be doing something else if I'm not enjoying it, because I could do other things? And yeah, like we've said, this is not a steady, like you can rely on it every week paycheck. You can maybe for a while, but anything can happen.
Mm-hmm.
And because of that, I think what I really need to focus on, and what I had been focusing on, was like reconnecting to the joy. I took an
Mm.
online acting class, and for a long time, in my mind, was separating voiceover from acting, which is crazy. But especially given the way that, especially for those of us who do commercials, a lot of them are films. They are, connected. They're not like, I mean, it's not a lot, there's still a lot of radio stuff out there, but like higher energy, the typical sort of announcer read. But getting back to like, to that to acting and being more present, not just in my life, as I mentioned, which has been super helpful for just daily functioning, but
Yeah.
also in my work, because
Yeah.
otherwise,
Yeah.
what am I doing here? So,
Yeah.
as far as goals, mine are more like general feeling. Yes, I want to, like have crazy amounts of money flowing in, sure, but is it the money I want, or do I really just want to feel secure and at ease?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
So
yeah, I kinda answered your question, I kinda didn't.
you
Yeah.
did. You
Yeah.
did.
Um, so I like to ask people when I'm talking about their brand, what jobs are attracted to you. So naturally, I receive financial and healthcare categories.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and so, Erica and Kim, what jobs are naturally attracted to you, whether it's a genre or an industry or both?
Humans are attracted to you, that's a really interesting way to put it. Um, Kim, you wanna go first? I'm like, "It's gonna take me a second."
Yeah, I think for sure healthcare,
Hmm.
financial
Hmm.
as well. My voice kind of sits there, but also um, I don't know how you would describe it, but like first person comedy kind of,
Mm.
playing
So,
a role.
rye
Just
roll.
playing just any role, like playing a
Mm.
role. I seem to book a lot of those,
So,
where I play
commercial.
a person.
It sounds like
Yes.
that's your commercial lane.
Yes. Yeah.
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 I'm acting like I don't know you, but I didn't know the answer
But
to
you're
that
clarifying.
question. I know you very
You're
well.
clarifying.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I I'd say same. Definitely my work is majority commercial and then corporate, whether it's internal or just like explainer brand film type, like B2B or business to consumer. But yeah, industry wise, I've done a lot of different industries, and
Mm-hmm.
sometimes I wouldn't expect my voice to fit in. Um,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, I guess yeah, a whole
So for
variety.
commercial, what types of commercials are attracted to you? Like comedic or warm, or what in terms of, because I think the answer to this question is really good for marketing, ironically, because then you go after, you realize, oh, these are the ones I'm booking. These are the things I need to go after in order to go where I'm welcome.
Oh, that's so interesting. I'm thinking about like the bigger jobs of the past year or so.
Uh-huh.
The bigger ones, they really run the gamut. Like it's someone
You're
Ah.
versatile.
Uh-huh.
really like rise sort of that, like you said, Kim, like comedic, so like commenting on what's happening over in the visuals, like
Yeah.
that sort of commercial to really warm, heartfelt, like, talking about your child. Like it's then some poppy, like high energy apparel, Sephora. Like there's, different.
Wow.
It's variety. And that's why I struggle with the branding thing because
Right.
I I
Right. Me
don't
too.
know. And honestly, I don't even know vocal age because sometimes I know I can sound a lot younger, and sometimes when I drop in, I can sound my actual age.
Mhm.
Um,
You're lucky you have such range.
yeah,
Yeah.
I
so
know.
or it's just I don't know, just a giant question mark. But maybe we need to work together, Natasha, and you can help me
Mm.
with branding.
I don't know. I don't want to limit you. But for those of you who are listening and not watching, Erica has a real defined style. And some would say goth, but it's not like goth
Goth?
high school. It's just like wears black,
Goth?
has short black bangs, and has a very definitive style. And I think that if people were to look at you physically, then they would make assumptions about maybe youthful, because you look extraordinarily youthful. I don't know how old you are, but anyway.
I would love
Um,
it would really
what?
I would love for you to guess. It would really help my
No, thank you. I've learned my lesson long ago in life about those things. Um, but yeah, I mean, youthful and wry, and maybe not, you know, I don't know, healthcare, warm, fuzzy, which clearly you can do. But looking at you, be like, well, can she? I don't know. And so yeah, I think it's dangerous. Um, Most of us, well, anyway, I'm not going to go on
Are
to
you
what we
are
all.
you saying that it's dangerous to brand yourself too much because then you don't allow yourself to expand into other areas?
I think
That
it's more about people looking at you. I think if you were to share
Oh,
your picture on your website, or, well, maybe not your website, because I know you could do an amazing pro thing that would look gorgeous. But Voice 123, once again, there are thumbnails on there where you have to sort of just have your face. And so it's a benefit because, for example, real estate agents have their picture on their card, so you can connect with them as a person, uh, you know, potentially. So as talent, is that detrimental for someone who's as flexible as you are with such range and such clearly defined style? I would think you should use something like, do you do a lot of character work and gaming?
No, I mean, no, I've done a little bit of video game stuff and I would love to do more. It's just, again, like, I mean, you guys know this. How do you choose? There's so many different, like, because especially if you're like, oh, I want to explore this new genre. Okay, you got to take classes, you got to
Right.
practice, you got to get new demos. And it's like, okay, so what's my budget this year for a new genre?
Right.
Because
Right.
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 it's not
Right.
even just financially, but energy and time and all that.
Yes.
So you know, yes, I definitely have wanted to. But I think you're bringing up a really good point, Natasha. Like, and I think that answer is really different for everybody because
Mm-hmm.
some people, they're like, you know what, I don't care. I only want to do, finance commercials, or I only want
Right.
to do, I'm just going to like brand myself in that way. And that works great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know if there is an answer. I just think it's really dependent on what feels true to you. And I'm thinking, I'm like,
Yeah.
would I be in a different place if I if I had done that? But it doesn't feel true
Oh,
to me. It never
no,
did.
no.
Years ago, you're making me think of when I was in my old acting studio like 15 years ago. I had a friend there who was like, Erica, like maybe you should really dress like a hippie instead of how she termed it an American Apparel model. Because I guess I used to love American Apparel years and years ago. And she's like, because it kind of like reflects your personality. Maybe you should dress more like that. And I totally understood where she was coming
Yeah,
from. But it
yeah,
felt so wrong to me
yeah,
because I
yeah,
was like, yeah, I can align with a lot of that philosophy. And yes, maybe appear to have more of a free spirit, but like that doesn't feel true to me. So why am
yeah.
I do that just to try to manipulate someone else's opinion of me?
Yes.
But yeah, yeah. I don't
Oh,
know. We're
this
going
is
on a tangent,
loaded.
but you guys know what I mean, right? I don't know.
Yes,
Absolutely.
If you
entirely.
that.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Have you guys done that? Have you branded yourselves in that way?
I don't know how to brand myself. That's something I'm working on. Like that's something for this year or next year to like really like brand quote unquote myself. And I don't know where to go because I'm pretty flexible too. Like, oh, I love the comedy, but like, what do I do? Put on a silly hat. You know, how do you brand yourself? And
Yeah.
also like I'm a girl who likes khakis and a chambray shirt, but I also like leather. Like I don't
Okay.
I don't know. How do you brand yourself? It's
Wow.
it's complicated and
Well,
it's
it is very complicated. In the past, I would say, Kim, that you are an urban mom next door or urban gal next door or an urban BFF next door because while you live in sort of the burbs, I mean, I don't know Boston in and out. But you live where it's residential. But you have this urban sophistication. If you look at Kim's website, and she knows it, so I can say it out loud,
oh God, here we go.
there's no brand on there. Like it's just no,
But my
no.
demos are amazing.
Yes, your demos and your samples are amazing. So I think it comes down to the photo and really getting the look or looks down to because the photo speaks 1,000 words, right?
And I
So
don't have one on there. So
No photo on your website.
no, I
no.
need to have one. But I'm
Okay.
just
Yeah.
like fretting, like, what do I do? Like, exactly. The funny hat, the squirty flower. I don't know.
I also understand because then if it's like, if you do say you come out in like a clown costume, I don't know, whatever you want to do, like people might not take you seriously for the other stuff.
Right.
Right.
The stuff that brings my paycheck and I can
Mm.
pay where I live. Right.
It's
I think
interesting
you
when
just have to look like a professional. I think if anyone's looked at Kay Bess's website, it's just uber professional. And I think if you want to have an elevated brand in voiceover now in the life cycle of voiceover, as long as you look extremely professional,
And not be holding a
photo and
rose.
website. No.
I don't know, maybe. I wouldn't be bothered by it. But yeah, I know what
Glamour shot?
yeah.
No. Really
There
clean.
comes.
And check out if you're listening. Are you still listening out there? Check out Kay Bess's website and you'll see what I mean because
Put anything.
she's not definable by her photo or her website, but she's definable in terms of, oh, wow, she's professional. I can tell just by her photo and her website. And that's, I think, ideally what we need.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like, if I'm a voice buyer, if we're saying that, and I'm going to somebody's website, like I'm probably more interested in how you sound. I mean, if your website's like a crazy mess and there's a bunch of like, I don't know, awful racist stuff on there or something, terrible, I'm not going to want to hire you. Like if you're if it's portraying who you are in a sense, or the combination, the eclectic combination of who you are, interests and all that, and what you can bring. And I listen to your demos or your samples, and I'm like, oh, they sound great.
Yeah,
Right.
Like
that's it.
you know what I mean? Like I don't know.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
my approach.
Yeah.
It might be a little bit different than traditional
No.
guys, but like Yeah, we can move
I
on.
think
Yeah. So
we definitely
like
have
I'm
to
just
move
saying
on from anything gimmicky. That's just not a
right,
thing.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, in conclusion, for those of us who are listening, or for the people who are listening out there, what would you say to them, or what kind of advice would you give them if they're feeling a little untethered or not sure where their career is going right now? What would you say to them?
Hmm.
What advice?
I think that it's good to remember that it isn't always a set, like, from A to B path,
Hmm.
and that success is really it has to be a personally derived concept because if we're going after, like, success in terms or, like, of other people's success, like, our path is
Hmm.
not gonna look like theirs at all, and
Hmm.
nobody's paths look the same, and what we usually are chasing is a feeling or a state of being, and so what I would say and what's worked for me, because I'm, constantly going into periods of time like that where I'm like, "What am I where am I? What do I wanna do?" Um is to check in with how you wanna feel, and
Mm,
then
Wow.
move towards that as much as you can.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Love it. Thank you,
thank
Erica.
you,
You have brought so much to us today.
Thank you,
Thank
as
guys.
you.
always.
And
Damn.
cheers.
Cheers.
We want to see that VO for the Planet mug again. Thank you, and we will see you soon. Bye,
Thank
everybody.
Speechless.